I'm going to show you guys what I use for my stoma irrigation. I use mainly Convatec supplies for my irrigation bag, and I use the Convatec irrigation sleeve. And as you guys can see, it's like a long bag that connects to my wafer. It just kind of clicks on. There's other ones that do like a turn click. I don't know, easy. They lock on, and then I have my irrigation bag, which the water goes in, and I usually fill it up to about 2,000 cc's with my pitcher I got from Amazon, and it has the funnel that actually sticks inside my stoma, and you guys can see it comes with like a long hose, and
roller.
And then it has like the roller clamp, and then you can kind of see the little pinwheel looking thing. It just lets you know when the water's flowing. And I use just a waterproof underpad to like just block my pants from getting wet, because sometimes there can be some oversplash if you're not careful. It does happen. And I use paper towels, rubber gloves, or vinyl gloves, just a bag for any trash. And then when I'm done, I put on my a fresh new colostomy bag, and that way it's good to go. And like I said, doing the irrigation, I rarely have any output. So if your doctor recommends that you irrigate, or if you want to ask your doctor about irrigation, I highly recommend it. It makes you feel good, it cleans you out good, and like I said, you don't get much output at all. So it's so much nicer than having to, clean up my bag every other day or so, or every third day. So yeah, it's definitely much more comfortable, going to bed knowing that you're not going to have a full bag to worry about overnight. So, and then we're going to show you how I irrigate in just a second, so we'll see you in the bathroom. Alright, so now we're up in the bathroom. I got my bag hanging from the shelf, and I have my pitcher of water. I put it in the microwave for 2 minutes and 50 seconds just to heat it lukewarm. You don't want it hot, you don't want it cold, you don't want to shock your intestines or anything like that. Like I always say, this is not a how-to video, this is just a how I do video. So do as your doctor says, not as he does. So I'm going to fill up the bag with the water. And then before we fill the water, we always make sure that our roller clamp, thanks babe, roller clamp is closed. That way the water doesn't just start pouring out the bottom. And then after you hang your bag, we will take and prime so you get all the air out of the hose, because you don't want to put all that air bubbles in the intestines either. Okay, and then I have the KY as well, which I forgot to add in the video because it was already up here. I do put a little bit of KY on my stoma prior to putting the funnel in, and I have my leg bag and stuff on my chair, the pad, and I'll show you how that goes in just a second. Let me set my camera up and get rolling. Alright, first you can see how I'm leaning back, and I do this so there's not a lot of pressure on the stoma. I take a waterproof underpad and I place it over my lap just in case there's any water that ricochets. I get a little spasticity just from kind of being full in my intestines because I have the colitis. I tuck the pad in, give a little slack on the colostomy bag, armrest up, I do a couple extra napkins over top just because sometimes the quote unquote waterproof underpad isn't quite waterproof enough. And then nine times out of 10, the bag's empty, and you can tell when there's something in it. That's what I love about irrigation, is most of the time the bag is empty. And I angle the bag forward just a little bit, and then I press the bag around the flange. And I always have them double check it. I've had one leak experience, and I don't want to go through that again. So I always make sure the bag's on nice and sealed. As long as your doctor says it's okay, I would recommend this to anybody that has uh, an ostomy site, colostomy. I tuck the bag up on my lap so it doesn't get caught on my wheels, and I roll up to the toilet. I just place napkins around just in case. Like I said, sometimes you get some ricocheted water. Then you take the tubing and I hold it in my hand, and then there's a little pinwheel that I can kind of watch and make sure it's spinning. I'll show you how that works in a second. I take a little bit of KY, put it over my stoma site. Sometimes I add it to the funnel itself. And then when I turn the water flow on, sometimes it'll spin right away, and you'll see me kind of do like a flick motion with my hand like that. And what that does is kind of forces a little bit of water down. You kind of see how it's spinning. And then when it starts back spinning is when the water's trying to push out against it, and then we pull out and let the water flow out. And that kind of flushes everything inside out. And I do that over and over. And I usually do, like I said, about 2,000 cc's of water. Sometimes a little less, sometimes just a little more. And oh man, the relief I have afterward is amazing. So if anybody out there has a colostomy, if your doctor says it's okay, I recommend it. It empties you out so good. I just let the water flush out. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get the fecal matter out and everything. And I lean up, lean back, lean up, lean back, and it kind of helps kind of push everything out. And I started out doing 250 cc's, and I kind of worked up from there to 300 and then 500. And I usually don't do any more than 500, and I let it flush out. I don't want to show too much on YouTube, but I just let it flush out. And then I take a cup of water, lukewarm. I never do cold. You always do lukewarm water. Like I said, that's why I put it in the microwave, to kind of heat it up first. And like I said, you don't want to do hot water. You don't want to do cold water. You'll shock your intestines. I just flush the bag. And I just keep doing that over and over until I feel empty. After you do it long enough, you learn the signs to look for to know when you're empty. A little bit of spritz of Febreze, gotta have that. Not a sponsor. And then when I do at the end, I take up a water bottle just to kind of clean everything up, and I dab around it. I just don't want to leave water up in the flange when I pop the bag on. I just take the plastic bag off, pop a fresh colostomy bag on, and we're good to go. It feels so good. Like afterward, you just feel relieved. Sometimes you gotta push a little bit to get those snaps to seal. Got the thumbs up, and we're good. Toss the pad, toss everything, clean up, and I'll show you how I clean the bag afterward. You have to do a few uses out of every bag. I don't get too many, but also leave my bag soaked in vinegar water until my next use, and then I clean it off. And that's it.